So hello students, I hope I am audible and visible to all of you students. Hello, 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 sound check students, sound check, sound check. Hello, hello students. Hello everyone. Now students, what if I tell you I will do the entire chapter, of your plant kingdom in just 50 points. How amazing is that students? How amazing is that? I will be doing the entire chapter of plant kingdom 50 points in the next 45 minutes. So if you are excited for this particular class, I need to see some fire emoji in the chat. I need to see a constant fire emoji in the chat if you are excited for this particular class, student. If you're excited, all of you. Hello students, hello, hello, hello. Hello students, welcome to the class, students. Welcome to the class. Good evening, all of you. Right, good afternoon, all of you students. Good afternoon. Now, first things first, students, first things first. In the starting, you need to understand, students. I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you students. I hope I'm audible and visible to all of you. Hello, 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 hello. Hello students, hello. Now, first of all, students, let me show you the point which you need to focus on, the first point here. Right, the first point here. The various classification systems were given to classify angiosperms, such as artificial system of classification and natural system of classification. Now, what is the difference? What is the difference between natural and artificial system of classification? Now, if you classify something based on just the outside face, how the nose looks like, how the eyes look like, how the ears look like, or you classify a plant based on the flower color, plant height, leaf color, number of leaves, that is called as artificial system of classification. In artificial system of classification, हम सिर्फ बाहर की चीज देख रहे हैं. We are looking at the morphological features, only the morphological features. That is called as artificial. Then what is natural, students? In natural, we are looking at the internal beauty. एक प्लांट अंदर से कैसा है, what is the embryology, what is the anatomy, what is the chemicals inside the plant, that is called as natural system of classification. Natural system of classification was given by Bentham and Hooker, and artificial was given by the Aristotle as well as Carl Linnaeus. So Carl Linnaeus gave the artificial, Bentham and Hooker gave the natural system of classification. Students, can anyone tell me in the chat which one is better? Artificial is better or natural is better? Obviously, natural is better because natural is looking at the inside of the body also. It is looking at एक plant अंदर से कैसा है ना, that is it looking at. Now students, at present, phylogenetic classification system based on evolutionary relationship among the various organisms is the most accepted one. So the most accepted is what, students? All of you, most accepted is phylogenetic system of classification. In phylogenetic, we look at the connection between two organisms. Monkey, humans, हम दोनों के बीच में connection ना, हम दोनों बाय हैं. We and monkeys are connected to each other. So that is called as phylogenetic system of classification. Now, then there is, now all of you need to understand, this entire phylogenetic system of classification is based on what? Can anyone tell me, how do I know that this Neanderthal man? How do I know the Ramapithecus? How do I know the Homo habilis, Homo erectus? We are connected to each other. All of you, tell me students, all of you, tell me, how do you know I am connected to Homo habilis? How am I connected to Neanderthal man? Fossils, yes or no? Fossil. So when you know there is a fossil, you look at the fossil and you compare the fossil and we like, हाँ हमारे अंदर भी ये इस तरह का fossil था और Neanderthal man के भी इस तरह का उसका fossil था. Jaws were like this. So you compare the fossil and you get the conclusion. Now, what if there is no fossil? Students, what do you do that time? If there is no fossil, what do you do if there is no fossil record? If there is no fossil, that time you focus on numerical taxonomy, chemotaxonomy, and cytotaxonomy. So whenever there is no fossil, you look at the chromosome behavior between two organisms. You look at chromosome number of two different organisms. You look at the numerical taxonomy. In numerical taxonomy, you compare the characters, you compare the traits of two different organisms. So जब तक fossil था, तब तब काम चल रहा था. जब फॉसिल नहीं है उस टाइम पे क्या कर रहे हैं अभी हम? अगर फॉसिल नहीं है तो we are doing both of them. So in cytotaxonomy is based on cytological information like chromosome number, chromosome structure and chromosome behavior. So it is very important. When fossil is present, we can use fossil. If fossil is absent, that time we have to go for alternative. Okay. Chromosome behavior basically means the expression of a chromosome. See, every single chromosome will have certain alleles and genes in it, and they will express in a certain way. So this expression can be compared. Expression can be compared. Clear all of you? Yes, students, I know all the teachers. Now, students, now, next thing I want all of you to understand, we'll talk about algae right now. Algae. The first member of your plant kingdom is called as algae. Now, is algae photosynthetic in nature? Yes, it is photosynthetic in nature. But when you compare, अगर हम algae को ना दूसरे और एक plant से compare करेंगे ना, then lot of difference is there. Because if you look at any plant, students, can anyone give me an example of a plant? Students, can I get an example of a plant in the chat? Let's say a mango tree. हाँ, सबको पता है ना, mango सबको पसंद है. Now, when I talk about mango tree, it has roots. Students, mango plant has roots. Mango tree has roots. It has roots. Mango tree has fruit. Obviously, it has fruit. It has seed. It has flower. It has branches. It has stem. But when you compare a typical mango tree to an algae, the algae does not have any stem. उसके पास stem नहीं है, उसके पास roots नहीं है, flower नहीं है, flower fruit नहीं है, कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास. But still, algae is a plant. So algae is called as thalloid. Algae is called as what, students? Thalloid, because it has a thallus body. So what is the meaning of thallus? The meaning of thallus is that it does not have root, does not have stem, does not have flower, does not have branches, nothing. Just a normal thalloid body it has, and it is chlorophyll bearing. So algae are chlorophyll bearing, simple and thalloid. So what is the meaning of thalloid, students? Meaning of thalloid is what? Yes. Meaning of thalloid is it doesn't have root, it doesn't have shoot, it doesn't have fruit, it doesn't have flower. कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास, कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास. That is called as a thalloid body. Clear all of you, students? Clear all of you? Thalloid body. They are autotrophic in nature. It means they can produce their own food. उतना खाना बना सकते हैं. विकास बाद में देख लो, फ्लो अभी खराब हो जाएगा फ्लो, ठीक है? Now, largely aquatic in nature organisms. Now, students, what is the reproduction in algae, students? What is reproduction in algae? Algae के अंदर ना तीनों reproduction है इसके अंदर. It has your sexual, asexual and vegetative. तीनों तरह की reproduction है algae के पास, students. तीनों तरह की reproduction है. So in algae, asexual reproduction takes place by your different types of spores, and the most common being zoospores. Okay. Now, what about sexual reproduction? Sexual reproduction is actually of three types here. Now, it depends on the shape and the size of gametes. Understand, students? Now, fusion of two gametes which are dissimilar in size. So, there are three categories. First is called as isogamy. Second is called as anisogamy and oogamy. इसका मतलब क्या है समझो students? इसका मतलब समझो. In iso मतलब क्या है students? Iso means what? Does anyone know? What is the meaning of iso? Iso means same. So the first category, student, the first category is called as isogamous type. Isogamous type. So in isogamous type, what happens is that the two gametes are same to same. Isogamous. So in sexual reproduction के अंदर तीन categories हैं. Sexual reproduction के अंदर students, the sexual reproduction के अंदर ना तीन categories हैं. The first category is called as isogamy. In isogamy, what happens? Gametes are same size. Then we have anisogamy. In anisogamy, the two gametes are dissimilar in size. The third category is called as oogamous type. It is called as what, students? Oogamous type. Now, what happens in oogamous type, students? In the case of oogamous type, दो gamete, they're not same. But here, the female gamete है ना, जो mahila, the female gamete. The female gamete is very large. The male gamete is very tiny. And the small tiny male gamete is motile in nature. And the large female gamete is stationary. एक ही जगह पे रहेगी. देखो students, the fusion between one large non-motile female gamete. So female gamete किस तरह प्रकार है students? The female gamete is non-motile, very large, and the small छोटू सा male gamete is very small. That is called as oogamous type. So oogamous type students, just like humans, just like in the case of humans also. Humans also what happens? Humans also male is very tiny sperm, egg is very large, same concept. Okay. Now examples are very important students. Examples are very important here. Now look at the examples. In oogamous type we have volvox and fucus here. Volvox and fucus. In the case of anisogamy we have eudorina. Eudorina is given example here. Now under isogamous दो तरह के students. Isogamous के अंदर दो तरह के हैं. Now there are two gametes. Iso means what? Same gamous. Isogamous is same gamous. Now these two gametes can be motile, or these two gametes can be non-motile. See this students. The two fusing gametes can be flagellated, means motile, and similar in size. Example is eulothrix. So eulothrix is an example of motile similar gametes. Now what about non-motile similar gamete? Spirogyra. So इसमें थोड़ा टाइम लगेगा इसको याद रखने के लिए, पर हो जाएगा आराम से, है ना, हो जाएगा आराम से. So motile same gamete, motile. Iso is eulothrix. Non-motile but same in size is Spirogyra. So इतना याद रखो, आराम से बन जाएंगे क्वेश्चंस, यहीं से बन गए क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है. Now students, now in algae all of you need to understand, हमारे सिलेबस में तीन तरह के algae हैं. This classification of algae is mainly based on the pigment present inside. Pigment. Is the algae red color? If the algae is brown color? If the algae is green color? हर एक pigment के basis पे ना we have divided different classes of algae. The red algae is called as rhodophyce. The green algae is called as chlorophyce. The brown algae is called as phaeophyce. है ना स्टूडेंट्स? इसके लिए निमोनिक नहीं चाहिए स्टूडेंट्स. निमोनिक जब आएगा तब देख लेंगे. इसके लिए निमोनिक नहीं चाहिए, तो बहुत इजी है. एक एक एग्जांपल के लिए क्यों निमोनिक? हाँ, यूलोथ्रिक्स, स्पाइरोगायरा, वोल्वॉक्स, है ना, वोल्वॉक्स एंड फ्यूकस. So you don't need mnemonics for small things. Now students, now let's understand. I have made a table for all of you students. I have made a table for all of you for quick revision. यहां पर एक टेबल मैंने बनाया, देखो स्टूडेंट्स, यहां पर एक टेबल बना दिया मैंने. All the information which you need for this one is for your green algae. This one is for your green algae. Green algae. What is green algae students? Green algae is also called as what? Green algae is also called as chlorophyce. I think I've written somewhere, mentioned it here somewhere students. Green algae is also called as chlorophyce. कहीं पर लिखा students, नहीं लिखा गया? हाँ, लिखा है यहाँ पर. So green algae is also called as chlorophyce. Green algae is called as chlorophyce. ठीक है? Now let's understand about chlorophyce right now. Let's understand about chlorophyce right now students. No, blue-green algae is kingdom Monera. Avinash, blue-green algae is kingdom Monera because it is a Monera. It is unicellular. It is prokaryote. All of these are eukaryotic in nature. Plant kingdom, they can be uni and multi, but these are eukaryotic in nature. Blue-green algae is a Monera. Okay. Now, let's one by one let's understand. Habitat is what? Mostly fresh water, from very marine thing. What is cell wall made up of? Cellulose on the inside, pectose on the outside. This is very important. Very important. You have to remember this. Then, what are the pigments present inside? Now, what are the pigments, students, here? Pigments in the case of green algae, chlorophyll A is very common. Chlorophyll है हर एक algae में होगा. Chlorophyll A is the common pigment in every. Okay. Now, chlorophyll B is the second pigment here. So, please remember chlorophyll A, chlorophyll, two pigments for your chlorophyce. Now, food storage, starch, stored bodies like your pyrenoids are present here. These pyrenoids can store protein also. So, we have starch is the main source of storage of food. इसमें जो भी खाना बनता है ना, in the process of photosynthesis, वो सारा का सारा खाना, it is stored as a starch here. It is stored as starch. Okay. Members, examples I've given you students here. Examples, this you have to remember examples. If you want mnemonics for these examples, ask me in the comment section. I'll make a separate short. All the examples of chlorophysi, how to remember. All the members of phyophysi, how to remember. This I can make a mnemonic. Now reproduction. Reproduction, nothing to worry. Chlorophysi में ना तीनों तरह का reproduction है. Sexual, asexual, vegetative. तीनों reproduction है यहाँ पर देखो. तीनों reproduction है यहाँ पर. तीनों की reproduction है. So if you remember this, you are sorted for chlorophysi. Now students, now let's talk about brown algae. Brown algae is also called as phyophysi. Brown algae is also called as what? Phyophysi. Now in phyophysi, what you have to remember? Let me show you students. इसको एक table काफी है brown algae के लिए. Now where are they found mostly? They're mostly found in marine habitat. What is cell wall made up of? The cell wall is made up of cellulose and algin. Very important. This algin was completely absent in the case of chlorophysi, but now we have algin also here. Algin is very important. Now pigment, here one extra pigment they have. See, chlorophyll A is common. मैंने बताया ना, chlorophyll A is common in everything. Chlorophyll A is common. Okay, chlorophyll A is common in everything. Okay. Now here chlorophyll A, then chlorophyll C is found. Here we had chlorophyll B, chlorophyll C we have here. Now apart from chlorophyll A and chlorophyll C, here we have something called as the fucoxanthin. Now this fucoxanthin is very important. Why it is important? Because this fucoxanthin concentration will change everything. Now let's say fucoxanthin का concentration बहुत कम है अभी. अगर fucoxanthin का concentration बहुत ही कम है ना, तब ये algae थोड़ा olive green लगेगा. अगर इस fucoxanthin का concentration बढ़ गया, then dark brown. So इसका concentration बहुत ही important है. कम concentration olive green, ज़्यादा concentration it becomes dark brown color. So fucoxanthin is very important pigment here students. Fucoxanthin. Now food stored is by mannitol and laminarin. Very important question again. Okay, so here the food stored is mannitol and laminarin. इस green algae के अंदर क्या था students? Green algae के अंदर क्या था? Green algae के अंदर था हमारा starch था. Now members is ectocarpus, laminaria, fucus, sargassum, dictyota. इसके लिए मैं निमोनिक बना के दूंगा आपको. नहीं अविनाश नहीं. Now students, here I will show you the life cycle. You will realize life cycle में दिखता है यहां पर ना, इस algae के अंदर, हर एक algae के अंदर zygote के अंदर meiosis होता है. meiosis called as zygotic meiosis happens here. This zygotic meiosis is not present in your bryo, pterido, gymno, angio, never. Zygotic meiosis happens only in the case of your algae. I'll show you later on. I'll show you what is zygotic meiosis. Now reproduction is very simple. Reproduction is all important here. Reproduction, all three are present here. Okay. So important questions students. ये questions नहीं है ये वाले, ये topics बना रहा हूं आपको मैं. इस topic से मैं questions आज बनाऊं students, आज करें. इस topic से आज PYQs करें इसका. इसी chapter का PYQs आज ही शाम को करें students. आज शाम को, आज रात को करते हैं. शाम को नहीं, शाम को मेरी और एक क्लास है तो रात को करते हैं. आज जो पढ़ रहे हो ना आज टॉपिक्स, ये सारे टॉपिक्स है ना, किस तरह से PYQs आए पहले और किस तरह के क्वेश्चंस बन सकते हैं बाद में, नीट में कैसे बने. So if you want to do all those things, let me know in the comment section, because today at 9 PM we will do it. If you want, all of you, today 9 PM the same chapter PYQs, सारे NSEJS के PYQs, नीट के PYQs सब कुछ कर देते हैं, आज ही कर देते हैं. So एक चैप्टर खत्म हो गया आज ही है ना, मजा आ जाएगा पूरा स्टूडेंट्स, मजा आ जाएगा पूरा. Now what is red algae called as students? What is red algae? Red algae is what? It's called as rhodophysi. Students, अगर आप एग्जाम पेपर देखोगे ना, नीट का पेपर होगा या NSEJS का पेपर होगा, वहां पर देखें ask you directly, what is the food material stored in red algae? What is the food material stored in red algae? उसका आंसर क्या है? Fluoridian starch. उसका आंसर है Fluoridian starch. Fluoridian starch is the answer उसका. So question, you will understand how the question will ask you, or they can ask you the question. What is the cell wall in brown algae? What is the cell wall in the brown algae? Algin, cellulose and algin. What is the cell wall made up of in your red algae? In red algae, cell wall is made up of cellulose. Cellulose plus polysulfated esters. You should write. Okay, स्टूडेंट यहां पर दिया है मैंने, यहां पर लिखना भूल गया मैं, ऐड कर दूंगा नोट्स के अंदर. ठीक है. नाउ पिगमेंट इज क्लोरोफिल ए कॉमन. क्लोरोफिल इज कॉमन एवरीवेयर. देन क्लोरोफिल डी आएगा यहां पर. डी देखो अभी क्या ट्रेंड दिख रहा है, ट्रेंड आपको सबको ट्रेंड दिख रहा होगा. देखो ट्रेंड यहां पर आया था क्लोरोफिल ए बी, यहां पर आया क्लोरोफिल ए सी, यहां पर आ रहा है क्लोरोफिल ए डी. सो ए तीनों में कॉमन है, ए तीनों में कॉमन है, बी सी डी ऐड करते जाओ. इतना स्टूडेंट्स ऐड करते जाओ. ओके सर पिछले साल के पेपर में आया था कि इसका क्लोरोफाइटा रोडोफाइटा. हाँ स्टूडेंट्स आ सकता है, ऑब्वियसली स्टूडेंट्स आता है, यही आता है, यही आता है ना, क्लोरोफाइसी रोडोफाइसी, यही आता है. क्वेश्चंस यहीं से बनते हैं, क्वेश्चंस यहीं से बनते हैं क्वेश्चंस. ठीक है, नीट में भी यहीं से बनते हैं, इसी टेबल से आएगा क्वेश्चंस, बता रहा हूं अभी के. अभी यहां सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट क्या है पता है? यहां पर सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है द मोटिलिटी इन योर रोडोफाइसी. रोडोफाइसी के अंदर ना फ्लैजेला एब्सेंट है पूरा. रोडोफाइसी के अंदर फ्लैजेला एब्सेंट है यहां पर. अगर यहां पर फ्लैजेला कंप्लीटली एब्सेंट होगा ना, एब्सेंट होगा, सो व्हाट डू वी नोटिस? वेजिटेटिव फ्रैगमेंटेशन बन गया. एसेक्सुअल बाय नॉन मोटाइल स्पोर्स, सेक्सुअल बाय नॉन मोटाइल गैमेट्स. सो यहां पर नॉन मोटाइल स्पोर्स और नॉन मोटाइल गैमेट्स बनते हैं, नॉन मोटाइल कंप्लीटली. ओके स्टूडेंट्स यही क्वेश्चन बनता है, यहीं से क्वेश्चन आते हैं. देख रहे हो, देख रहे हो क्वेश्चंस हो गया, यहीं से क्वेश्चन बनते हैं नॉन मोटाइल. सो सुन लो ये बात, एक बात, और ये टेबल बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट है. इस टेबल में ना आपको सारा ये दिखेगा क्लासेस का. ये देखो क्लोरोफाइसी, फियोफाइसी, रोडोफाइसी तीनों बन गया यहां पर. ग्रीन रेड ब्राउन पिगमेंट, कौन कौन से पिगमेंट है यहां पर? पिगमेंट बन गए, स्टोरेज बन गया यहां पर, सेल वॉल बन गया, और फिर ये एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट है यहां पर, दैट इज द फ्लैजेला, टाइप ऑफ फ्लैजेला एंड पोजीशन. यहां पर देख रहे हो आप 2 to 8 इक्वल एपिकल. एपिकल माने क्या? एपिकल माने यहां से आएगा फ्लैजेला, यहां से आगे से आएगा फ्लैजेला, एपिकल. फियोफाइसी में क्या कहां आ रहा है? 2 अनइक्वल लैटरल. इसका मतलब क्या है? फ्लैजेला साइड से ऐसे आएगा, साइड से फ्लैजेला. अगर इफ दिस इज द गैमेट हियर, फ्लैजेला विल बी अनइक्वल लाइक दिस, अनइक्वल, अनइक्वल लैटरल एंड 2. ये वाला कैसे बनेगा? ये वाला स्टूडेंट्स ये ऐसे बनेगा, एपिकल, एपिकल यहां से बनेगा, एपिकल, इक्वल एंड एपिकल, इक्वल एंड एपिकल बनेगा. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, बनाएंगे डीएनए क्वेश्चंस, बहुत ही इजी है. डीएनए का क्वेश्चंस बहुत ही इजी बनाएंगे हम. ठीक है नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, दिस इज द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ योर एल्गे. दिस इज द लाइफ साइकिल ऑफ योर एल्गे स्टूडेंट्स, एंटायर लाइफ साइकिल. देख रहे हो, एंटायर लाइफ साइकिल हियर. तो एल्गे में क्या होता है पता है? एल्गे का मेन प्लांट बॉडी है गेमेटोफाइट. मेन प्लांट बॉडी इज गेमेटोफाइट. गेमेटोफाइट विल ऑलवेज प्रोड्यूस गैमेट्स बाय माइटोसिस. ये गैमेट्स फर्टिलाइज होने के बाद जाइगोट बनाते हैं. नाउ वंस वी गेट जाइगोट आफ्टर फर्टिलाइजेशन, इस जाइगोट के अंदर ना, इस जाइगोट के अंदर मियोसिस होके डायरेक्टली, जाइगोट के अंदर मियोसिस होके ना डायरेक्टली वी गेट स्पोर्स. सो जाइगोट अंडरगोस मियोसिस. मियोसिस मींस व्हाट? 2n to n, reduction division, reduction division. So zygotic meiosis and we get spores. ये spores वापस gametes बनाते हैं. But this they will not ask you. Just remember this much. Just remember this much कि algae के अंदर zygotic meiosis होता है. इतना याद रखो, काफी है यहाँ पर. ठीक है students? Students, you can follow NCERT, you can follow Truman, you can follow Campbell. 3 books are very important. Okay. Now students, now इस ब्रायोफाइट, टेरिडोफाइट और जिम्नोस्पर्म्स के अंदर ना थोड़े ऐसे ऐसे पॉइंट्स है ना, आपको बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट है. अगर आप इस लाइंस को पढ़ोगे ना, समझ नहीं आएगा. सो फॉर दैट आई हैव अ साइकिल फॉर यू. ओके, आई हैव साइकिल फॉर यू. स्टूडेंट्स, रेडी फॉर ऑल ऑफ यू? रेडी? ऑल ऑफ रेडी फॉर द साइकिल्स? क्योंकि अगर आपको समझना है ना, समझना है, प्रॉपर ही समझना है आपको, ये एल्गे का लाइफ साइकिल, टेरिडोफाइट का लाइफ साइकिल, ब्रायोफाइट का लाइफ साइकिल, है ना. अगर आप ऐसे कुछ लाइंस पढ़ोगे ना, कभी समझ नहीं आएगा. यू हैव टू ड्रॉ एंड लर्न द एंटायर लाइफ साइकिल इन अ प्रॉपर मैनर. और उसी रीजन के लिए ना, इस नोट्स के साथ साथ आई हैव बॉट टुडे माय ओन हैंड रिटन नोट्स फॉर दिस. रेडी ऑल ऑफ यू? रेडी? रेडी स्टूडेंट्स, हैंड रिटन नोट्स, ये सब इंपॉर्टेंट है, ये छोड़ो, ये सब इसमें बताऊंगा कौन से इंपॉर्टेंट है, पर अगर आपको प्रॉपर्ली समझना है, कॉन्सेप्चुअली समझना है आपको, ओके, आई विल शो यू माय हैंड रिटन नोट्स फॉर दिस एंड यू विल नॉट फाइंड एनीवेयर, किसी बुक में इस तरह से नहीं मिलेगा आपको, किसी भी बुक में ना इस तरह से नहीं मिलेगा आपको, ओके, जस्ट लर्न दैट, आई विल शो यू. So before we go to that, let's just read this once. The main plant body of bryophyte is gametophyte. So students याद रखो, मेरी बात याद रखो अभी है, algae में, bryophytes में, algae और bryophytes के अंदर ना इन दोनों में ना main plant body is gametophyte. And please remember, gametophyte is always haploid in nature. Gametophyte is always what? Students, gametophyte is always what? Haploid in nature. What is the meaning of haploid? The meaning of haploid is that they have a single set of chromosomes. Single set of chromosomes. They're always haploid. And what is sporophyte? Sporophyte plant body is always diploid in nature. अगर आपको स्पोरोफाइट गेमेटोफाइट कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा ना, वेट कुछ 5 मिनट वेट करो, आई विल शो द लाइफ साइकिल, उसके बाद व्हाट इज स्पोरोफाइट, व्हाट इज गेमेटोफाइट, पूरा समझ जाओगे, ठीक है. नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, द सेक्स ऑर्गन्स इन ब्रायोफाइट आर मल्टीसेलर एंड जैकेटेड. बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, बहुत ही इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है, बहुत इंपॉर्टेंट पॉइंट है स्टूडेंट्स. नाउ यू माइट आस्क मी, सर, what are the sex organs called as? What are the names of the sex organs? The names of sex organs is antheridia and archegonia. Antheridia and archegonia are the sex organs in your bryophytes. Okay? Now, examples दिया students, examples दिया देखो. The species of sphagnum, also called as peat moss. Peat moss. It is also called as what? Peat moss. Peat moss provides peat that has long been used as fuel for packaging. ठीक है? Mosses along with lichens are the first organisms to colonize the bare rock. छोड़ो ये सब students. Now, अभी हम पढ़ते हैं, under bryophytes we have two categories. How many of you know? Under bryophytes we have two categories. How many of you know, students? How many of you know? Sir, parthenogenesis, how can drone be haploid? Students, drones are haploid because they're born from parthenogenesis. Okay. Wasp, ants, all parthenogenesis. Wasp also. Students, how many of you know in bryophytes we have two categories? In bryophytes के अंदर ना we have liverworts and mosses. Very good, very good. ठीक है? Now students, let me show you the life cycle. Ready all of you? Ready for life cycle? Ready for life cycle students? Ready for life cycle? ये दो लाइफ साइकिल पढ़ गए ना, पूरा आपको ना बॉटनी मजा आ जाएगा बॉटनी में. क्योंकि एवरीवन डजंट लाइक दिस चैप्टर बिकॉज दे जस्ट रीड दिस. इस पढ़ने से कुछ समझ नहीं आएगा इसे, ठीक है. यू हैव टू नो दिस लाइफ साइकिल्स हियर. दीस आर माय लाइफ साइकिल्स व्हिच आई हैव ड्रॉन इन क्लास. लाइव क्लास में ड्रॉ किया मैंने सब कुछ, ये लाइव क्लास में ड्रॉ किया लाइफ साइकिल. सो अगर आप इस लाइफ साइकिल को इस तरह से देखोगे, ठीक है, इस तरह से देखोगे तो समझ नहीं आएगा. लेट मी एक्सप्लेन पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट. रेडी ऑल ऑफ यू स्टूडेंट्स? रेडी? पॉइंट बाय पॉइंट. Okay, I will tell you why they're called as amphibians of plant kingdom. Give me a minute. Ready all of you? Ready? Okay. Now tell me students, bryophyte के अंदर ना we have two things. One is called as liverwort, one is called as mosses. Liverworts और mosses करके हमारे पास दो तरह के bryophytes मिलते हैं. Now इन दोनों में सबसे बड़ा डिफरेंस क्या है दोनों में? फर्स्ट डिफरेंस इज दैट योर liverworts are dioecious in nature and mosses are monoecious in nature. इसका मतलब क्या है स्टूडेंट्स? इसका मतलब क्या है? व्हाट इज dioecious, व्हाट इज monoecious? डिफरेंस समझो इसका डिफरेंस. All of you tell me in the chat students, what is the meaning of die? Students, what is the meaning of die? All of you students, what is the meaning of die? Die माने मतलब क्या है? To. Die means do. To. Dioecious माने क्या पता है? Eicious means what? Eicious means thalliaceous. So here what happens is that the sex organs, that is antheridia and archegonia, are present in two different thalli. Here we have male thalli, female thalli. So we have two different thallis here. Dioecious. Now what is monoecious? Mono mane students what? Mono mane one. So here we have only one thalli. इसी thalli, एक ही thalli पे, एक thalli पे we have Antheridia, Archegonia. Both are present in one thalli here, same thalli. So that is the main difference between monoecious and dioecious condition. Now let's talk about liverworts, student. Let's talk about liverworts right now. है ना, liverworts. Liverworts में we have dioecious. So we have male gametophyte here male gametophyte, and we have female gametophyte here, male and female gametophyte. Now students, tell me, gametophyte is haploid or diploid? All of you in the chat, tell me. All of you know this. Gametophyte is haploid or diploid? All of you in the chat, tell me. आराम से tell me. Gametophyte is haploid in nature. लिखा हम स्टूडेंट्स यहाँ पर हमने haploid लिखा, haploid लिखा यहाँ पर, haploid. ठीक है, it's haploid in nature. Now this male gametophyte will have male sex organ, है ना? Obviously male के पास male ही होगा ना. So male gametophyte के पास antheridia यहाँ पर है, और female gametophyte के ऊपर archegonia है. So antheridia here, archegonia here. Okay, so हमारे सेक्स ऑर्गन भी बन गए. अभी इस सेक्स ऑर्गन से भी गैमेट्स निकलेंगे, गैमेट्स. फॉर एग्जांपल इस एंथेरिडिया से यहां पर बाइफ्लैजिलेटेड एंथ्रोजोइड्स निकल के आएंगे. क्या निकल के आएंगे? बाइफ्लैजिलेटेड एंथ्रोजोइड्स निकल के आएंगे. मेल गैमेट्स बन गए अभी. और इस आर्कीगोनिया से ना एक सिंगल एग सेल होगा इसके अंदर. क्या होगा? एक सिंगल एग सेल. So it is a flask shaped structure. इस flask shaped structure के अंदर की तरफ ना एक egg होगा. Now, how will these two gametes fuse, students? These two gametes will fuse with the help of water. That's why we call bryophytes as the amphibians of plant kingdom, because they are present on land. This is present on land, but they also require water for fertilization. So पानी की मदद से तैर के चला जाएगा यहाँ पर. So it is going in water and fusing. So यहाँ पर हमारे बन गए haploid gametes. तो क्या next step क्या है students? Next step क्या है? Fertilization is the next step. Now let's say fertilization बन गया. Students क्या मिलता है? बताओ students जल्दी से. When male gamete and female gamete fuse together, what do we get? Students, anyone who can tell me? When male gamete and female gamete fuse together, what do we get? All of you. Students, quickly in the chat. All of you, participate in the class. Zygote मिलता है ना? Zygote. So can we see zygote here? Zygote is seen here. और ये zygote, students, this zygote right here is diploid in nature. है ना? So male gametophyte, female gametophyte, antheridia, archegonia, anthrozoids are the gametes here. Egg is the gamete here. Fertilization is happening and we got zygote. Now please remember, this zygote here, it is growing on the gametophyte. के ऊपर grow हो रहा है अभी है zygote. Now this zygote now undergoes mitosis. It also forms embryo. With the help of mitosis, this particular zygote will develop into the sporophyte. So zygote क्या हो रहा है? Zygote is undergoing mitosis to give the entire sporophyte. So sporophyte बन गया हमारा. Now all of you, zygote was diploid. Mitosis, no change in ploidy. Mitosis. So sporophyte का ploidy क्या होगा? Sporophyte will be diploid in nature. So ये भी diploid और ये भी diploid because of mitosis. So sporophyte is diploid in nature. So ये sporophyte बन गया ना, बड़ा सा sporophyte. This sporophyte, it is dependent on the gametophyte. देख रहे हो? This sporophyte is actually growing on the gametophyte. इसी gametophyte के ऊपर ही sporophyte grow हो रहा है. And this sporophyte has three parts: foot, seta and capsule. Okay. Now all of you tell me, gametophyte gametes बनाता है. What will sporophyte make? Anyone in the chat who can tell me? Gametophyte is making gametes, sporophyte is making spores, है ना? So this sporophyte here undergoes meiosis. This sporophyte here undergoes meiosis. इस स्पोरोफाइट के कैप्सूल के अंदर ना, इस स्पोरोफाइट के कैप्सूल के अंदर क्या होगा? मियोसिस होगा, मियोसिस, और मियोसिस होके स्पोर्स बनेंगे, स्पोर्स, स्पोर्स बनेंगे, स्पोर्स, दिख रहा है स्पोर्स? एंड ऑब्वियसली यहां पर क्या हो गया? मियोसिस हो गया. इफ देयर इज मियोसिस, रिडक्शन डिवीजन, रिडक्शन डिवीजन हो गया यहां पर. सो व्हाट डू वी गेट? आफ्टर रिडक्शन डिवीजन वी गेट स्पोर्स, एंड these spores develop into male gametophyte, female gametophyte. So haploid, 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 पूरा लाइफ साइकिल खत्म. Students, do you realize how amazing the life cycle of a bryophyte is? स्टार्टिंग गैमेटोफाइट से हो गया, गैमेटोफाइट ने गैमेट्स बनाए, यहां पर गैमेट्स फ्यूज हो गए, जाइगोट बन गया, जाइगोट माइटोसिस होके स्पोरोफाइट बना दिया, इस स्पोरोफाइट के अंदर मियोसिस हो गया, मियोसिस होने के बाद वापस स्पोर बन के ना गैमेटोफाइट स्पोरोफाइट बन गया. सो वी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम गैमेटोफाइट, एंटायर लाइफ साइकिल हो गया, डिप्लॉयड स्पोरोफाइट आ गया यहां पर, और फिर से गैमेटोफाइट. Crazy, no students, crazy. Tell me, how crazy is it? How you cannot understand this with the help of NCERT और किसी भी बुक में, स्टूडेंट्स किसी भी बुक में पढ़ लो ना, इस तरह समझ नहीं पाओगे. Because life cycle has to be learned like a life cycle. You cannot learn life cycle linearly. कभी पढ़ नहीं सकते आप. Life cycle has to be learned life cycle manner. अब देखो स्टूडेंट, अब देखो, दिस इज लिवरवर्थ. अभी मॉसिस में क्या हो रहा है स्टूडेंट? मॉसिस में क्या हो रहा है? मॉसिस के अंदर देखो स्टूडेंट्स, मॉसिस के अंदर देखो, मॉसिस में क्या हो रहा है? In mosses, what is happening? In mosses, we have monoecious. What is the meaning of mono, students? What is the meaning of mono? Mono means one. So here we have only one thalli. So only one thalli. There is nothing called as male thalli, female thalli. कुछ नहीं है यहाँ पर. एक ही thalli है. उसी एक ही thalli के ऊपर antheridia, archegonia बन रहा है. ठीक है? So only one thalli here. Antheridia, archegonia. है ना? है ना स्टूडेंट्स? सो ओनली वन थैला यहां पर है. सो एंथेरिडिया, आर्किगोनिया दोनों यहीं पर है. ठीक है? नाउ दिस एंथेरिडिया इज रिलीजिंग समथिंग कॉल्ड एज एंथ्रोजॉइड्स. सेम थिंग व्हिच वी लर्न बिफोर, है ना? वी लर्न हियर आल्सो. फीमेल गैमेटोफाइट, मेल गैमेटोफाइट, एंथ्रोजॉइड्स हियर. सेम एंथ्रोजॉइड्स हियर आल्सो. Anthrozoids here also. Now these anthrozoids will fuse with the egg. Students, what is the medium? Can anyone tell me what is the medium of transportation of these gametes? Anyone? The main medium of transportation is water. है ना? पानी है, पर पानी है. So it can travel to the egg here. Travel to the egg. Travel हो गया. Then what happens? Fertilization happens. Zygote formation happens in the archegonia itself. है ना? Air नहीं, water, सब कुछ water है यहाँ पर. Now this zygote again undergoes mitosis to give the sporophyte. देख रहे हो? Zygote became the sporophyte here. Sporophyte has three parts: foot, seta, and capsule. Foot, seta, and capsule. Now this foot, seta, and capsule is a sporophyte, diploid in nature. Diploid in nature. Don't diploid here. Now same thing. This sporophyte now undergoes meiosis to produce spores. So you can see a pattern here. Mosses और liverworts में ना almost same ही हो रहा है. Almost same ही हो रहा है दोनों के. पहले एंथेरिडिया, गैमेट्स, आर्किगोनिया, गैमेट्स, फर्टिलाइजेशन, जाइगोट, जाइगोट डेवलपिंग इनटू स्पोरोफाइट, स्पोरोफाइट, मियोसिस, स्पोर्स. ऑलमोस्ट सेम यहीं पर ये भी हो रहा है. देखो, गैमेटोफाइट, गैमेट्स, जाइगोट, माइटोसिस, स्पोरोफाइट, स्पोर्स. सो both are almost same to same. But mosses and liverworts are almost same to same, except in the starting हमारे मॉसेस के अंदर एक ही प्लांट बॉडी है और लिवरवर्ट्स के अंदर दो प्लांट बॉडी थे यहां पर. बट अपार्ट फ्रॉम दिस देयर इज वन मेजर चेंज. नाउ व्हाट इज दैट मेजर चेंज? द वन मेजर चेंज इज दैट ये स्पोर्स है ना, these spores will not develop into gametophyte directly. All of you, these spores will never develop into gametophyte directly. नहीं होंगे, वो नहीं होंगे. These spores will develop into a intermediate stage now. What is that intermediate stage? ये देखो, these spores will develop into a stage called as protonema stage. Protonema stage. So अगर एग्जाम में आएगा protonema is found in which of the following organisms? Liverworts, mosses, algae, pteridophytes. What is the answer, students? What is the answer? Okay, all of you, if someone asks you protonema is found where, protonema is found in the case of your mosses. Very important question, very important question. Protonema is found where? And this protonema is free living. Green color का ना, ये green color का, so it can do photosynthesis also. It can do photosynthesis. ठीक है? और this protonema will develop some buds. These buds will develop into the gametophyte. That's the main difference which you need to focus. Bryophyte के अंदर, mosses के अंदर ना, we find protonema. Clear all of you students? Clear all of you? Yes? Clear? है ना? Clear है ना? All of you. I hope it is clear to all of you. Now students, now if you talk about pteridophytes में सबसे important क्या है students? Pteridophytes में सबसे important है होमोस्पोरी, हेटेरोस्पोरी. उसको छोड़ी कुछ और पूछते ही नहीं यहां पर, ठीक है? Let's understand pteridophytes. In pteridophytes, the main plant body is sporophyte. सबसे important first question ये. अब तक हम क्या पढ़ रहे थे स्टूडेंट्स? अब तक हम पढ़ रहे थे कि मेन प्लांट बॉडी क्या था हमारे एल्गे और ब्रायोफाइट में. एल्गे और ब्रायोफाइट में सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट था हमारा मेन प्लांट बॉडी गेमेटोफाइट था, है ना? यहां देखो, मेन प्लांट बॉडी गेमेटोफाइट था, हैप्लॉइड. एल्गे के अंदर क्या है स्टूडेंट्स? एल्गे के अंदर भी मेन प्लांट बॉडी था गेमेटोफाइट. बट अब से ना, फ्रॉम टेरिडोफाइट ऑनवर्ड्स मेन प्लांट बॉडी इज स्पोरोफाइट. सो in the case of your pteridophytes, in the case of your what do I say, gymnosperms, angiosperms और pteridophytes, इन सारे के सारे के अंदर मेल प्लांट बॉडी होगा टेरिडोफाइट, स्पोरोफाइट यहां से, ठीक है? एंड दिस स्पोरोफाइट इज डिप्लॉयड इन नेचर. Clear all of you? Clear? Okay. Now students, the sporophytes bear sporangia. तो इसमें sporangia मिलता है. Now what is sporangia? Let me give you an example. अगर आपने कहीं देखा हो तो लाइफ के अंदर, okay? Students, have you noticed in your life, students, have you ever noticed, इस तरह से एक पत्ता होगा, ठीक है? इस तरह से एक पत्ता होगा, इस पत्ते के पीछे ना इस तरह से एक पत्ता होगा, देखो. You might have noticed leaf like this. इस लीफ के पीछे की तरफ there will be small spots like this. देखा कभी स्टूडेंट्स? कभी देखा है? small spots behind a leaf. कभी देखा होगा तुम? कभी तो देखा होगा ना, किसी मूवी के अंदर, रियल लाइफ के अंदर, कहीं तो देखा होगा आपने, कहीं तो देखा होगा. ऐसे स्पॉट्स होते हैं लीफ के पीछे की तरफ, है ना? These are called as sori actually. These are called as sori. इस सोराई के अंदर we have sporangia. इसके अंदर sporangia मिलता है, ठीक है? So we have sporangia. So sporophytes bear sporangia. Sporophyte is the main plant body, all of you know, and it's main plant body that are subtended by leaf-like appendages called as sporophyll. So students, here one difference all of you need to understand. All of you listen to me very carefully. Listen to me very carefully right now. Very carefully, all of you listen to me. यहां पर दो तरह के लीफ मिलते हैं, दो तरह के लीफ. एक है कॉमन लीफ, उस लीफ के पीछे की तरफ ना कुछ भी नहीं है, उसके लीफ के पीछे की तरफ कुछ भी नहीं है उसके पास, ठीक है? नाउ बट इफ a leaf has a sporangia, अगर एक लीफ के पास इस तरह का sporangia है, that leaf is called as what? That leaf is called as sporophyll. So what is sporophyll, students? Sporophyll is a fertile leaf. Because this leaf can take part in reproduction. Students, reproduction. Because these sori will take part in reproduction. Okay. So leaves in pteridophytes help in reproduction also. They help in reproduction, leaves. Crazy concept no students, crazy concept no. किसी और लीफ, नॉर्मल लीफ कुछ नहीं करता, नॉर्मल लीफ सिर्फ फोटोसिंथेसिस करता है, आराम से रहता है. बट फर्टाइल लीफ है हमारे पास, जो स्पोरोफिल लीफ है, यहाँ पर स्पोरोफिल लीफ, ये स्पेशल लीफ है हमारा, ये स्पेशल लीफ क्या करता है? स्पेशल लीफ फर्टिलाइजेशन करवाता है, फर्टिलाइजेशन करवाता है ये लीफ. ओके, नाउ स्टूडेंट्स, नाउ टेरिडोफाइट्स आर होमोस्पोरस as well as heterosporous. इसका मतलब क्या है स्टूडेंट्स? Homosporous is the concept where homo माने same, sporous is spores. So same one type of spore is produced. So in homosporous only one type of spore is produced. Then what is heterosporous students? Heterosporous, hetero माने मतलब क्या है? Hetero माने different, hetero माने different. So they have two different types of spores. और यहां पर सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है एग्जाम्पल इसका स्टूडेंट्स, ये देखो हेटेरोस्पोरी का एग्जाम्पल है सलाजिनेला एंड साल्विनिया, और होमोस्पोरी का है टेरेस. ये एग्जाम्पल सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट है यहां पर, ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स. आई विल चेक विद आदित्य. I thought you were added. If you're not added, I'll check with AP servants. Don't worry. ठीक है. Now students, now the pteridophytes are classified into Lycopsida, Psilopsida, Stephanopsida and Pteropsida. These are different types of classes here. Different types of classes here. Okay, students. Okay. Now students, you do not have the life cycle of pteridophytes. Honestly speaking, you don't have to learn the life cycle of pteridophytes. उतना complex नहीं है आपको life में. ठीक है. You have simple, this much is enough for pteridophytes for your level. But if you want to learn my style of life cycles, if you want to learn how do I do these life cycles, इसको अगर आपको इसको समझना है, the homospory life cycle, the heterospory life cycle, अगर आपको ये वाला समझना है तो you have to do something called as go to YouTube and type my name, बसवराज सर प्लांट किंगडम one shot. अगर आप उसको टाइप करोगे so you will get my one shot video और you will get my pteridophyte video. उसमें pteridophytes में I am teaching for 1 hour. I am teaching pteridophytes for 1 hour, bryophytes for 1 hour, algae for 1 hour, one hour for every single type of plants, one hour. So you have to check out that. क्योंकि ये this is not for your syllabus. This is not for your syllabus. ये थोड़ा complex हो जाता है. But you have to remember homospory, heterospory examples. उतना याद रखो काफी है. ठीक है? Now students. Now last topic for today is called as gymnosperm student. Gymnosperm. इस gymnosperm के अंदर क्या याद रखना है आपको? ठीक है? The gymnosperms are plants in which ovules are not enclosed by ovary wall. So इसके अंदर ovary wall नहीं रहता है इसके अंदर. Okay? All of you. Okay? Students, I take everything for one hour. I take everything, students. I have taken this chapter for 5 hours. Students, I have taken this chapter for 5 hours. 5 hours I have taken this chapter. So ये छोटा chapter नहीं है. Now I am giving you the outer points. I can go very deep into the chapter. अगर मैं deep चला गया ना, minimum I think I have taken 5 hours in the online. But in a paid batch, I have taken it for students. Try to multiply 8 into 1.5. All of you, 8 into 1.5 is how much? 8 into 1.5. Students, math students, people faster. 8 into 1.5. That's 12 hours. So मैंने 12 hours लिया chapter मैंने. In paid batch, I've taken for 8 classes. 8 classes तक गए थे हम. Algae हमने पढ़ा था 2 क्लास तक algae पढ़ा था. Okay, 8 into 1.5. I've done it. This chapter I've done for almost 12 hours. 12 hours तक पढ़ा मैंने चैप्टर. 12 hours तक गए थे हम 8 क्लास तक. ठीक है, 12 hours. सोचो आपको मैं सिर्फ 45 minutes 50 minutes कुछ पढ़ाने की कोशिश कर रहा हूँ. Okay, we're going only outline. Okay, so don't worry students, it's very detailed. We can go very detailed. See, I don't think so anyone will go this detailed. मैं एक क्लास में ना सिर्फ ये पढ़ाता था. मैं सिर्फ एक क्लास में सिर्फ ये पढ़ाता था. मैं एक क्लास में heterospory I've taught for 1 class, 1.5 hour for heterospory I've spent. ठीक है, सारा डाउट्स लेके सब कुछ. Okay, so let's finish this last part. Main thing you have to remember students, main thing you have to remember in your gymnosperms is that gymnosperms के अंदर ना there is nothing called as fruit formation. All the seeds are naked here. All the seeds are naked. Chichi. ठीक है, all the seeds are naked here. Okay students. Now okay, the giant redwood tree of Sequoia is the tallest tree in the world. या इसको याद रख सकते हो, tallest tree in the world, Sequoia. The roots of gymnosperms are generally taproot in nature. और इस gymnosperms के अंदर ना, इस gymnosperms के अंदर you have to remember something called as gymnosperms के अंदर ना, you have to remember the roots have certain symbiotic association. What is that, students? In cycus, small cycus के अंदर, cycus is a gymnosperm. Cycus is a gymnosperm. Okay. In cycus, small specialized roots called as coloroid roots are present. और इस coloroid roots के अंदर ना, we find cyanobacteria. Sir, how to remember this? One small trick is there. The small trick is CCC. What is CCC? Coloroid roots, cyanobacteria, and C for cycus. Cycus, coloroid root, cyanobacteria. Cycus, coloroid root, cyanobacteria. CCC. तीनों के तीनों है क्या? CCC यहाँ पर, CCC. Okay. Now, in gymnosperms, two kinds of spores are produced within the sporangia found in the sporophyll. Okay, two kinds of spores are produced here. Okay, students. Now, in gymnosperms, the cones. देखा students, cone देखा आपने cone? The Christmas tree, you might have seen Christmas tree. The fake Christmas tree. Orchidaria, you might have seen Orchidaria. Students, I'll bring NEET and I'll bring both. Students, I'll bring both. NEET PYQ, I'll also bring the NSEJS PYQs. Both I'll bring. 9 o'clock class. Don't worry. Okay. So here we'll find cones. You'll find round cone structures. Brown color के cone मिलते हैं यहाँ पर. Okay. Now students, here the gymnosperms cones bear the megasporophyll with ovules, and megasporangia are called as microsporangia. So again students, this they will not ask you generally. अगर इससे क्वेश्चन बनते हैं ना, टुडे 9 o'clock class I will show you one slide. उस one slide से तुम्हारे सारे क्वेश्चन बन जाएंगे उसके अंदर. One slide for this gymnosperm I will show you. Only one slide. Okay. That one slide will make you all the questions. Okay. So इसका भी लाइफ साइकिल मैंने बनाया है. इसका भी लाइफ स्टूडेंट्स देखो, मैं जिम्नोस्पर्म्स का भी लाइफ साइकिल बनाया मैंने. जिम्नोस्पर्म्स का, एंजियोस्पर्म्स सबका बनाया मैंने. Okay. So this is not that important students. आपके लिए नहीं पूछेंगे. Okay. One thing which you can learn here is the endosperm is haploid here. Endosperm is haploid in the case of gymnosperms. You can remember this. Okay. ठीक है स्टूडेंट्स, इसको याद रखो, काफी है. ठीक है. So students, in gymnosperms they generally ask you about cycus और pinus. ये cycus और pinus के अंदर क्वेश्चंस आते हैं. तो इसके लिए मैं एक सेपरेट स्लाइड लेकर आऊंगा आज. So all difference will be given there. So I want all of you to do one thing. Right now after this class, ये notes ना अभी के अभी upload हो जाएंगे. Hardik sir has told me. Hardik sir is he's taken responsibility to upload the notes. Before 9 o'clock class, I want all of you to revise this and come. Before 9 o'clock class, I want all of you to revise this and come. Student, Gemmacup दिया मैंने. Gemmacup is a type of asexual reproduction, asexual bud in chlorophyce. Okay, so इस notes के अंदर है. So revise everything and come before you join my 9 o'clock class today. Okay, students. So thank you so much, students. Bye, all of you. Take care. It's a very quick revision. Test yourself. Push past your limits today. Okay. So bye, all of you, students. Bye, all of you. Take care and have a great day ahead, all of you. Bye bye.